busy week for Call of Duty. We ended up getting the Operation Shamrock and Awe started this past week over on Tuesday, and then as of yesterday, we ended up seeing some information potentially on what may very well be Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Now, while yesterday we kind of focused on that here on the channel, it was something that was not the only thing that happened within the world of Call of Duty, and more specifically within the world of Call of Duty World War II. Like we said, we saw a bunch of stuff added in and updated for the game with Operation Shamrock and Awe. That kicking off, that patch had a lot of not only content, but also some things with bug fixes, different gameplay features, and some stuff that kind of was inadvertently changed also. One thing that really sticks out to me is that no longer can you shoot down the care packages as they're coming in to shave about a half second off the time that it takes from calling it in to getting your streak. But nonetheless, yesterday we ended up getting once again our weekly update from Sledgehammer, and while it wasn't as substantial as say what we got this past Monday detailing an entire update and patch, it was still something that offered quite a bit of useful information that even now today, though we didn't talk about it immediately yesterday, it is still very relevant and stuff that you can look forward to. So with all that considered, I want to talk a little bit about that today, this update that they gave us and what it entails and what you can look forward to within the future of World War II on the coming horizon. So for full transparency, this update isn't as beefy as once again what we saw Monday, just because there's not as much to talk about. We talked a lot about some things like weapons and updates to the game on Monday right before that patch went live. This is more so dealing with hot fixes and some things that give us a little relative information for when we can expect things, that being Domination XL, but we'll get to that in just a second. So the first thing we'll talk about is yesterday, if you went on to World War II, you might have noticed around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. GMT, and 10 a.m. Pacific, that you end up seeing that there was a game update available for World War II. This was for a number of different things, but one of the big things that I noticed personally was that of the hotfix to Armory credits. For those guys that have been with the game since launch, you know that Armory credits are something you get out of the mail station every 4 hours, and as soon as you end up collecting it, that's when that timer restarts. So theoretically, you can get a decent amount every day, but not really everybody sits at their console 24/7. But the amount that would end up getting 100 Armory credits wasn't really all that much. So for whatever reason, and it's a welcome change, don't get me wrong, Sledgehammer decided to bump that up to 200 Armory credits instead of 100. So now every 4 hours that you can end up going in and logging on and redeeming your credits, you can get 200 Armory credits, doubling down on what you can get for the daily numbers. Definitely a nice, once again, welcome change here for this. And I partially wonder if this ties in with the introduction of the Armory credit sales in the Quartermaster. You have not only the 8,000 Armory credit sale for the Epic Uniform Bribe, but you also have the ability to, for 4,000 Armory credits, purchase a relatively easy contract, but it guarantees you the Sten at this point in time and other weapons following suit after this one ends up getting changed out. So wonder if it's for that reason, but regardless, I'm not complaining. I love more Armory credits. I'll take what I can get. But as for what the other things this little update yesterday in-game actually changed about, well, it really just dealt with a little bit of the playlist updates, because as you guys know, Shamrock and Awe is going on right now. It offers shipment 1944, which we'll talk about in just a second a little bit further, and it also offers the Leprechaun Hunt Mosh Pit. But the one thing that really was cool added in with this one was that double XP is now added on to the Leprechaun Hunt Mosh Pit until 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 6 p.m. GMT on this coming Monday, March 19th. So if you guys have some time to burn this weekend, definitely jump on. It's a really fun mode if you don't play it already. But for that double XP, it's another nice little incentive to go on, jump into the playlist, and have some fun with it. If you guys want to try out some score streaks, this is definitely a great way to do it. I jokingly called it the Requisitions 2.0 the other day, but seriously, it's actually a lot of fun. If you can deal with being score streak spammed, you also have the ability to score streak spam yourself. So if you guys want to try out the ball turret gunner, the paratroopers, the carpet bombing run, those high streaks, this is a great way to get them in a relatively easy fashion. Just make sure that you end up being the one that kills the leprechaun, to which your score streaks will fill up immediately. So try that out if you guys have not already. Once again, fun mode, but double XP is available on that as well. But the big thing also out of this is that shipment 1944, we talked about this being added in for season pass holders. Well, it's now available for everybody. It's not just open to season pass holders. Now, if you guys log on at all, whether or not you have the DLC, whether or not you have the season pass, it doesn't matter. You now have this map for free. And the best part with all of this as well is not only is it now available to download and have at your disposal if you don't have that, but even after this event of Operation Shamrock and Awe is over, it's still gonna be there. So it's a free map given to everybody for the rest of the lifespan of World War II. So definitely nice. I will take that any day. Of course, I had this as of a couple of days ago with the season pass, but definitely gonna be nice to see that player number increase a little bit now that it's open to everybody. And one final extension on the topic of Shipment 1944 is that right now it's only in that Shipment 1944 playlist, but as of next Friday, it's actually gonna make its way into the regular map rotation. So TDM, Domination, Search and Destroy, all those different modes that are regular and standard within Call of Duty World War II, you're gonna have the chance to play Shipment on it. And now that I think about it, man, Search and Destroy on Shipment is gonna be interesting on how that one plays out. But we don't exactly know how frequently it'll show up in the rotation, but it's gonna be there in the regular rotation starting next Friday. But regardless, jump on and play some Shipment 1944 and some Leprechaun Hunt Mosh Pit. Definitely well worth it, I think, but those are the featured stuff this weekend here within this most recent update. Now, again, talking about things that were updated and changed, you guys, we talked a little bit about it in the past video a day or two ago, but camos were actually updated. This, they finally came straight out and said, you know what, we did buff Chrome camo significantly, and as we showcased once again in the former videos up on the channel, you can tell a difference. It is something that looks a lot nicer. It's a little bit more of a clean sheen on each weapon, a little more shiny, a little bit more covering every aspect of the canvas, all kinds of stuff. It was completely redone in that sense that it wasn't just something that you grind really hard for pretty much a camo that looks ugly. So I think it looks better now, but again, that's my own personal preference and opinion. Yours could totally differ, and if that's the case, feel free to let me know down there in the comments. But kind of jumping back to playlists themselves, we'll talk about this real quick to round out the stuff that was mentioned within this update. The first thing being prop hunts being on DLC maps. As you guys know, prop hunts as well as gun game were added in as party modes that are permanent within Call of Duty World War II going forward, so there's never going to be an option where you can't play these at any point in time. But prop hunt previously did not have any of the DLC maps once it was added in as a standard game mode within World War II. It was just on those base launch maps, which can get a little bit boring because again, there's only 9 there, and then potentially 10 if you add in Carrington, but I'm not entirely sure if that was even in the rotation to begin with. So before this update, we ended up seeing a very limited amount of maps you could play prop hunts on, but as of the update that happened this past week, well, you do have the ability to play on DLC maps now. So moving forward, you'll have a little bit more to play, and then whenever DLC 2 launches, presumably those will be thrown in the rotation as well, which of course, if you like prop hunt, it definitely adds a little bit more variety to the game itself, but also it makes it a little less repetitive that you don't have to play the same 9 maps or so, or maybe even less than that if maps get vetoed. But the big thing that I really want to talk about here and that I'm really excited for is we finally got a full confirmation of when Domination XL is going to be coming. For those of you guys that don't remember what Domination XL is, or you missed all the other times we talked about it here, it is essentially Domination, but instead of 50 points per kill, it's 100 points per kill. That's the only thing that's changed here, but you'd be surprised if you don't listen to the COD community at how much of a change that actually is going to be. It's going to radically increase the number of score streaks probably, and then we're also going to see probably an uptick in players, because that was one thing that I noticed as somebody that kind of looks around the community and just kind of people watches in a sense, is that a lot of people were not happy with Domination this year because it was 50 points per kill. So I'm really excited to see how much this brings back Domination itself, and honestly, I'd be really surprised if it doesn't make its way as a permanent mode or replace that of what we see in Domination moving forward after this maybe testing period, if they want to call it that, is finished. I'd really be curious to see if, say, 3 months down the line, we end up seeing Domination as 100 points per kill is the standard, but I guess we'll see in time. But that's going to be coming on March 23rd. So next Friday, we finally got the confirmation that it will be coming. We'll get a playlist update. That'll be a featured playlist within World War II. So it's going to be in those featured playlists. And there, we'll be able to see that 100 points per kill, and maybe, if we're lucky, some double XP as well. Because it seems like every time we have one of these playlist updates, that featured playlist ends up getting some double XP for the weekend. And that's it for the multiplayer update. The one thing that I'm kind of curious to see if we're going to get anything in terms of mentions or even any sort of update in any short upcoming time here is on paint jobs, because I still seriously want this so bad. But they did, if you guys remember, about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago in their weekly update said that, you know what, we addressed this way too early. We do apologize, but it's not going to be ready for really anytime soon. So unfortunately, that's been pushed back a little bit, probably until the middle to end of April, maybe then also early May, depending on when things work out. Depending on when the time frame is for DLC 2, it might even be included in that update that goes live with that, because that's probably going to be something that once again kickstarts another sort of seasonal event within World War II. And as such, we're not not only going to need a new patch to download these maps for PlayStation 4, but also if it kicks off an entire event, that'd be a perfect time to sneak that in there. So that might be something that's thrown in there, but again, that's not been addressed in any capacity as of recently. So I'm a little bummed about that one, but I do understand why. It's one of those things where you don't really want to mention it because then it'll give some false hope here, but I'm hoping that in the future, we get something out of this. That said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Once again, wanted to keep you guys updated with this because yesterday we kind of got lost in that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered topic, and therefore didn't really want to put up 2 videos and cram everything in with that. So we're about a day late here on this update, but nonetheless, hopefully it is still something that is relevant and can be a little bit more insightful for you guys. So that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Anything it may be. Do you guys want to see paint jobs, an update on that? Are you excited for Domination XL? Whatever it may be, feel free to let me know down there in the comment section down below. But that said, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding World War II updates, best class setups, tips, tricks, news, information, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. And if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, trying to get a bit more active over there. So if you guys want to follow on that front, that link is as well in the description below. But I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine's been Espresso. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Take care and peace.